Today I woke up with an agenda to challenge the Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, I know. You see, I just don't agree with some of the choices he's made during the eliminations. And here's one I bet nobody saw coming.
Adam. Take off your jacket, young man.
Yeah, garbage. I really think Mark should have gone home instead of him.
I got you, okay, on that egg.
Thank you.
Honestly, during this episode, Adam was doing a lot of heavy lifting, like taking some of the load off of Mark's shoulders.
The weakest member of the group still is Mark. He's gonna try really hard.
Count on Declan to always be the voice of reason. You see, Mark wasn't communicating at all, and this made it pretty tough for Adam to focus on leading the kitchen the way Chef Ramsay had wanted. Like, really, many other contestants got handed second chances, so why not Adam? Sure, Adam may have had a hiccup with maybe 1 or 2 tickets the entire night, but it didn't really spiral into major chaos. Mark, on the other hand,
This is a different type of fish station tonight because I'm cooking fried eggs, never as easy as you think.
are you kidding me? Like, he totally fucked up a simple fried egg.
That's burnt in there, okay?
Yet, Chef Ramsay pulled the trigger on eliminating Adam because apparently it was his chance to shine on the garnish station and he didn't rise to the occasion.
When I give you that responsibility, you can't step backwards.
Now, here's the thing that doesn't add up though. Remember when Corey had a rough go on the garnish station just a few services earlier?
Corey, come on, man. The lamb is for the next ticket.
She called the wrong tickets, sending the meat station into a tailspin and served up soggy fries, which got the red team the boot. And what's more, she didn't even take responsibility for it when the dust settled. But Chef Ramsay acted like Corey was the worst decision ever and called forward Jordan instead.
My decision is Jordan.
Now, look, if he's saying it's a bad move based on overall performance, that's fair game. Jordan and Cyan were the ones clocking the most mistakes mid-service until that point, which is why Cyan's elimination made sense. But then, when you look back, Adam had made the fewest blunders on the entire blue team. To me, it just felt like Chef Ramsay's reasoning for eliminating certain contestants was wildly inconsistent. Before getting the axe, this guy had a spotless record, 0 nominations leading up to his elimination. And it wasn't like he was flying under the radar either. In fact, he hadn't even made a single slip-up throughout the entire season, including the episode that ended his journey. Talk about a flawless track record, right? He aced multiple challenges, scoring a perfect 5 out of 5 rating. And let's not forget the fact that he clinched a victory for his entire team in the Mexican Cuisine Challenge.
I think, Adam, you should be crying tears of joy because this is the best dish of the night.
He was definitely in line for a black jacket based on his consistent performances and his knack for winning challenges. With his reliability and creative flair, he had the potential to easily land a spot in the final 2, but what do you think? However, this next elimination was somehow even more baffling.
Time is done. Tonight was your worst performance in this competition.
In season 15 of Hell's Kitchen, Hassan's elimination left many fans stunned and scratching their heads. This dude was a stellar chef, no doubt. Sure, he stumbled during one dinner service, but let's be real here. Compared to the other contestants who screwed up multiple times, Hassan's slip-up was just a flash in the pan. Frankly, Chef Ramsay's decision to send Hassan packing instead of someone like Jackie felt like an insult. What made Hassan stand out apart from his cooking chops was his humor. Dude was a riot. But then came the 4th service. Stationed at the appetizers alongside Joe, Hassan showed his team player spirit by lending a hand to Kevin on the meat station.
You got your sauce?
Yep.
Get your sauce in the boat. Come on, fast, fast, fast.
It was a strategic play to keep the focus sharp on the men's entrees, and boy did it pay off. As the men's entrees smoothly made their way out, Hassan's vocal leadership and clear direction stood out.
I got 2 sauce going to the pass. Keep communicating, keep working.
When the blue team was summoned to aid the red team, Hassan's assertive guidance played an important role in ensuring the red team successfully served all their entrees.
Tuna going to the window.
On your left, 2 fish. Good. Okay, let's go.
That's my man. Chef Ramsay, not one to shy away from recognizing talent, acknowledged Hassan's exceptional leadership by calling him to the front. In a move that highlighted Hassan's prowess, Ramsay praised him as the most vocal leader that night, acknowledging how he steered his team to victory.
You're the most vocal, the most confident, and you led your team.
This recognition led the famous chef to make a very bold call.
I want you to do exactly the same in the red kitchen.
Yeah, he transferred Hassan to the red team. If you ask me, I think Chef Ramsay shuffled him off to the red team way too early, and it seemed to go downhill from there. It's like his teammates dropped the ball and Hassan ended up paying the price for it. If Hassan had just stayed on the blue team or got another shot, chances are he could have notched up a win or at least made it to the Black Jackets. This guy had some serious potential, and it felt like his journey got cut short way too soon.
I've been doing this for years, and I know it sucks when somebody comes and tells you you're doing stuff wrong.
Now, the red team wasn't exactly welcoming either. During the family night dinner service, he politely reminded Danny about firing 2 tuna orders, but it was as if his voice got lost in the chaos. Ignored and brushed off.
You got 2 tunas going out though, no? Doesn't he need 2 tunas or no?
I can talk to his booing face. I'm just going to continue to do what I need to do.
Excuse my French, but how bitchy was that? However, the plot thickens. On their 3rd attempt, when Hassan's New York strip loin arrived at Ramsey's table, it wasn't only not up to par, it was raw. That mishap right there was the final nail in the coffin for the red team. Chef Ramsey swiftly kicked him out of the kitchen since the lack of communication and the icy reception Hassan received from the red team disrupted the flow entirely, I think.
Do me a big favor, all together. Oh.
And also, Danny's attitude throughout the entire season pissed me off so much. Hassan was pretty chill, and he did try to reach out to her, but she seemed to have such a fragile ego.
All of you, get together with Hassan to find out what the men are doing and the ladies aren't doing.
It was Chef Ramsey himself who wanted Hassan to lead the red team, and she just had to get in the way, dragging down one of the season's top male chefs just because of what? Insecurity? Now, flipping on the other side of the coin, let's mull this over. Let's look at his performance on sous chef Andy's wedding night. Mind you, this isn't just any night, it's a close friend's wedding to Chef Ramsey himself. He put a very tight deadline on Hassan, instructing him to prepare the main table's ticket in just 5 minutes. Trying to coordinate with Jared, Hassan's efforts were heavily critiqued by Ariel.
Hassan is running around with like a chicken with his head cut off rather than like cooking the chicken.
However, it got even messier when Hassan tried to serve up some pink chicken.
Chicken's raw.
Oh my god.
Oh man, he looked really defeated. Then came a stern warning to the red team about potential consequences for further mistakes.
One more mistake and I'm gonna kick you all out.
Damn, just look at that stare. I would have crumbled under that for sure. Despite Hassan's efforts to recook the chicken, it unfortunately came out raw yet again. This led to Chef Ramsey's visible disappointment.
Who cooked the chicken?
I did, chef.
What is going on?
Had it been any other night, maybe things would have swayed differently, but messing up on such a significant occasion? Nah, some argue that if it hadn't been for Hassan's colossal goof on that crucial night, he might have actually stuck around. He definitely had the skills to rock that coveted black jacket. Like, he was way better than most, especially compared to Jackie, there's no contest there. His services were not just good, they were flat out amazing. Before switching to the red team, in nearly every blue team service, Hassan led the pack. However, serving up undercooked chicken not once but twice to Chef Ramsey's former sous chef during their wedding reception? That's a blunder seriously hard to overlook, no matter how talented of a chef you are. But what do you think? Was Hassan robbed? Let me know in the comments section down below. Now, compare these two performances and tell me who should have gone home after the 11th service in season 13.
We need to make every risotto look exactly the same, okay, Papa?
Well, Fernando was leading the scallop risotto course, and Chef Ramsey set a tight 7-minute window for service. The pressure was on, but when it was time for the red team to plate their dishes, the blue team lagged behind. But Fernando kept his cool.
Both kitchens have to be delivered at the same time, but everything has to be cooked to perfection. That's it. That's all he wants.
As they started to plate things, Shade dropped a bomb.
We're good?
No, we don't have enough.
They were short on portions. But Fernando stepped up, noticing that they were 2 plates short, which Chef Ramsey wasn't too pleased about, emphasizing that all the risottos had to go out together.
They deserve to be served at the same time, chef.
But this is where Fernando really shone. Despite the hiccup, he swiftly turned things around.
Checking the plates. Beautiful, thank you guys.
Go, blue team.
In a flash, he fixed the mistake, ensuring that all their risottos were plated and sent out to the respective tables. That quick thinking and immediate action under pressure was so impressive. And now, Ro was the one messing up.
We're 2 plates short, Ro!
You're a fucking idiot, bro.
Anyway, now watch this. Santos, who was in charge of the seared tuna course, sucked big time when it came to the leadership.
So what's gonna happen is, Bryant, you're gonna sear the potatoes, cut the eggs, and then you're gonna start slicing the tuna.
Instead of taking charge, he pretty much gave most of the work to Bryant.
So basically I'm doing your dish for you, is what you're saying.
In comparison, Jennifer from the red team efficiently described her course while Santos rambled on, causing Chef Ramsey to intervene due to their slow performance.
What is he doing out there?
Also, we have some watermelon radish.
That's not exactly leading by example, is it? It's called stalling. Then came the New York steak course, where Brian took the reins for the blue team. He tried to guide his teammates, but Santos seemed completely checked out.
So, what are we doing?
What do you mean, what are we doing?
Like, how do you want the play to set?
His lack of attention annoyed Bryant, but Fernando, as usual, proved to be really reliable.
Brian, could you please take a look at these ones? I think they're done. These are great, going down.
Things went from bad to worse when Santos started shredding the steak instead of slicing it properly.
I want to smack Santos. He's fucking destroying the meat.
Bryant's comparison between Santos handling the beef to a 10-year-old with a toy knife said it all. In the end, Brian had to step in and slice the beef for Santos.
Just like this. Just like this.
The dude was basically a liability at this point. Santos's lack of leadership, poor focus, and subpar work ethics really dragged down the team during that service. Moving on, both teams found themselves as joint losers, leading to the task of nominating 2 individuals each for potential elimination. Jennifer from the red team put Roe at the forefront as the first nominee, followed by Sterling as the second. On the blue team side, Brian stepped up naming Fernando as their primary nominee, with Santos as the second choice. When it came to defending themselves, Santos highlighted his supposed passion surpassing that of his teammates, while Fernando claimed to have maintained more consistency than his fellow chefs.
I've shown that I want to be here.
But what did Chef Ramsay do?
You put food on a plate like a proper chef. What I don't believe you're ready to be is a leader.
Okay, that was the furthest thing from a fair call. Santos should have been eliminated there. How was he a better leader than Fernando? It's mind-boggling how he got the boot when he seemed to be the standout among the 4 nominees that episode.
I have a lot more technique and passion in cooking techniques than any other person.
Oh yeah, I agree with him. It's self-assurance, not arrogance. He had a little slip-up during the dinner service, but swiftly corrected it while the others made big blunders. Or even Ro could have been the one leaving over him. Sure, she held her ground during the dinner services, but when it came to creating dishes solo, she stumbled multiple times. She couldn't make anything on her own. Fernando, on the other hand, consistently delivered in challenges and held his own during the dinner services. Now, season 16 was one of the worst skill and personality-wise, especially as far as the blue team was concerned. There were a few questionable eliminations too, but none surprised me as much as this one.
Aaron, come here.
No, I will not calm down. Fucking appalling. He was played, man. Aaron was the only redeemable guy on that team. Seems like his elimination was only for TV drama. Andrew, Devin, and Johnny, meanwhile, let's just say they weren't exactly having a stellar service.
Touch them. Stone cold.
In fact, they probably racked up more mistakes than all the other chefs combined. But Johnny had just landed himself the role of this season's villain after that Kimberly drama, while Andrew and Devin started to butt heads. Truth be told, none of these 3 were gonna get the boot at that point because hey, conflict makes for good TV, right? Who cares that Aaron had a pretty solid service that episode? No mistakes. If I were in Chef Ramsay's shoes, I'd probably consider switching Aaron over to the red team and bidding farewell to the horrible excuse for a chef that Johnny was. Being surrounded by a team that appreciated him could have led to better vibes and potentially helped him step up his game. The red team's supportive atmosphere might have encouraged Aaron to communicate more effectively and grow in confidence, unlike the toxicity of the blue team. But then enter Matt, who swayed everyone to put Aaron up for elimination?
I definitely think Aaron's the weakest one here.
What? In what way, Matt? Ugh, I hate that guy. Which is why this episode was very satisfying to watch.
Curly whirly over. Hey, young man, come here, you.
During that god-awful 10th service, where famous faces like Crystal Hefner and celebs like Melissa Rivers, Drew and Jonathan Scott, and Ashley Green filled up the chef's tables, things got real in the blue and red kitchens. Matt opened by trying to pass the blame for his fish station struggles onto Kimberly, playing the victim card as usual.
Nobody comes over and says, Matt, I see you got a lot going on right now. Let me cook this lobster tail for you.
In fact, I cheered when Chef Ramsay caught Matt sending out an overcooked lobster tail. In a kind of awkward moment, Matt grabbed the dish back in the middle of Chef Ramsay's talk, and the famous chef was clearly not having it.
Put it on a tray.
Yup, he warned Matt that he couldn't give him any more chances, and at this point, I was like, ejection.
My patience is running out.
Ejection, please. But guess what? The blame game was still on, with Matt claiming that he wasn't getting any help from his teammates.
I got one person on guard and standing there doing nothing. Like,
Ask for help, Matt.
What an ass. The red team fired back, suggesting that he should have just asked for help, and Ramsay, not wanting to make a scene in front of the chef's table, shut it down.
Spend time now and not in front of our chef's table and sort it out.
But this misogynist asshole wasn't done yet.
You guys always want to sit here and pan up with girls, okay? Let me tell you something. Listen.
Every time he was on screen, I felt my blood start to boil. Now, when the situation demanded a fresh start, Heather stepped up, offering her hand to help Matt get back on track. But here's where things took a nosedive. Matt, in a pretty rude move, turned down Heather's offer because he insisted on doing things his own way.
Do you want help?
No, I'm fine now.
No, if you want help, I'm gonna help.
What a hypocrite! Heather took the lead by naming Matt as the red team's first nominee, followed by Kimberly as the second nominee. Meanwhile, Paulie from the blue team nominated Wendy as their first pick, with Shayna as the second. Then came Chef Ramsay's verdict. He called out Matt's performance, labeling it as fragmented due to the arguing scene in front of the chef's table. It was a moment that hugely embarrassed the red team.
You know, I'm a hard worker. I got good verbal skills, good communication.
There's only so much BS my ears can take. But here's where the real tea was spilled. Heidi made it clear with Chef Ramsay that Matt's attitude made him tough to work with.
Matt has an attitude. Everybody just doesn't want to talk to him because he's all pissed off.
Amen. If people have to walk on eggshells around you, you aren't as good as a communicator as you think. After some heavy deliberation, Chef Ramsay eliminated this contestant,
Shayna.
While she wasn't the worst performer on her team that night, I agreed with this decision. But I would have been seriously enraged if this didn't happen. Just when you thought it was all over, Chef Ramsay dropped another bombshell. Oh no, he wasn't finished yet. He sent Kimberly and Wendy back in line, and in a twist of fate, he did this.
Matt, step forward and give me your jacket.
Ah, finally! Before Matt exited, the famous chef took a moment to be frank with him.
When things went badly tonight, the first thing you did was point fingers at everybody else. That the only person to point at is you.
Oh, but it fell on deaf ears because this punk-ass loser threatened physical harm on Chef Ramsay.
If I was on the street right now and he came up to me with that same I'd him up, point blank.
Get out of here, you loser! Now, I've seen double eliminations happen before. First in season 11 with Amanda and Barrett. But did you know that season 16 and 21 are the only seasons where Chef Ramsay eliminated two chefs on the same night in two different elimination ceremonies? In season 16, there was also Kimberly and Paulie after the final 5 service. In season 21, it was Charlene and Zeus immediately after their second service. And could you guess which other duo in this season got the boot on the same night? Let's put your HK knowledge to the test. Come on, think a little. Alright, fine, I'll leave you with a little hint. It was on Trenton and Macy's wedding service. Boy, that's one lesson I learned for sure. Never go to Hell's Kitchen when you're planning your wedding. Speaking of, have you ever dined in one of Chef Ramsay's establishments? If you haven't, be sure to check out this video right here to learn what all the fuss is about. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. Plus, if you want to discuss this some more, I got the perfect platform for you on my channel's Discord server. Now, if you thought this video was crazy, then don't forget to check out my next one right here.